Credit unions have the most cult-like following of anything that I've ever seen in the financial space thus far. Like if you know someone who's been at a credit union for the past 10 years, maybe since they were a child, and especially if they've never tried banking anywhere else, they will ride or die for that credit union. They're like, credit unions are the best, credit unions are number one, you need to be at a credit union this, credit union, ugh. I like credit unions. Credit unions have their uses, and I think everyone should be a part of a credit union, but I don't think that they are the end-all be-all. In fact, I think each type of bank, credit union, has their own use, right? So we've got normal banks that have brick and mortar locations. Think like Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. And then we've got online banks. Think Capital One, Ally, CIT, SoFi. And then we've got credit unions, okay? So credit unions are not for profit, unlike the other two types of banks. The other two types of banks are for profit. They are a business. They want to make money, okay? Credit unions are not for profit. If you are a member at a credit union, you are part owner of that credit union. Credit unions are by law obligated to put you first, right? When you're at a credit union, you are investing in your community. Like it's a lot more socially sound to be at a credit union, I guess is the best way that I can put it. Credit unions are known to be friendly. A lot of people have loyalty to their credit unions because they're like, everyone's so nice, everyone's so sweet, everyone's so kind. Customer service is unmatched, which, I mean, sure, like customer service is nice, but I don't know. I think customer service is pretty standard across the board, no matter where you go. It's like good enough, right? We know some places are exceptionally bad at customer service. We know some places are especially not forgiving when it comes to their members. I'm sure a bank can come to mind when I say that, but usually places are pretty good across the board. You can get what you need to get done, and it's fine. Some people have exceptionally bad experiences and some people have exceptionally good experiences. So everything you have to take with a grain of salt. But essentially, credit unions are socially nice and they're good for loans. So if you need like car loan, home loan, personal loan, any kind of loan, credit unions typically have some of the best rates. Like my car loan is through my credit union that I've been at since I was 6 years old because they offered me the best rate for what I was looking for at that time. Those things fluctuate, but as it stands right now, credit unions are the kindest when it comes to loans. Now, when we look at online banks really shine in the savings account category. Savings account, money markets, CDs. If you want return on your money, online banks are going to be the best about that because they don't have overhead. Not like credit unions who typically have in-person locations or brick and mortar banks who also have in-person locations. They all got overhead expenses. They have to pay for buildings, they have to pay for space, they have to pay for the manpower inside of those buildings, right? So online banks don't have that, which is really great for, again, return on your savings, but not super great if you deal with cash a lot and you need to get cash and deposit cash and just handle cash on a daily basis. It can be really inconvenient to be at an online bank. Some of them have easier ways to deposit cash than others. Ally Bank, you can't deposit cash. You're going to need to deposit that into a different bank and then transfer it into your Ally account. Capital One, you are able to deposit cash. Discover, you are able to deposit cash. It just depends on the online bank that you are with. Now, when we look at brick and mortar banks, they give us the least out of all of these options. They have the lowest APY rates. They are for profit. They do not really give us the best rates when it comes to loans on things, but what they do have are in-person locations, typically nationwide. So if you are dealing with cash really regularly, that's going to be so convenient for you. I can see where that worth comes into place. So it's worthwhile to potentially consider having at least one of each of these types of places. And some people might be thinking, okay, well, if you've had a credit union since you were 6 years old, why are you looking into credit unions now? I like to try banks. I like to try banks mainly because of APY. I want to see what they've got to offer in terms of APY. And then I want to see the interface. So I want to know, is the website user-friendly? Is the app user-friendly? How difficult is this to navigate? I'm curious, I want to know. And previously I'd been hyperfixated on online banks specifically, but now I'm switching my attention to be over the credit unions because credit unions don't have competitive APYs typically. And so I need to branch out. Like the credit union I currently have, they've got like a 0.01% APY on savings. So that's why I don't have money parked with them because they don't give me a lot in return for having my money staying with them. But I think there is a credit union out there that might. And I've actually already opened an account at one. It's called Alliant. They give 3.1% APY for their savings, which is not as high as online banks still, but it's not so heinously off that it's unbearable for me. There's another credit union that I saw. It was with Inova Federal, and you can get 5% APY on up to $15,000. But there are stipulations, and this rate of return is not actually for a savings account, it's for their checking account. But if you have that checking account and you want to benefit from the APY, then you need to make at least 8 transactions per month to keep the 5% APY. You have to keep a minimum balance of $3,500, and minimum balances don't really bother me. I think they make sense. Direct deposit stipulations bother me, but not minimum balances. So I'm looking around at credit unions right now. It's a little bit harder to find on the internet. I feel like right now all the articles we're seeing are on high APY online banks, which are not credit unions. I specifically asked for credit unions and you did not give me credit unions, but whatever. A lot of other places I'm seeing have like 0.5%, which is higher than classic brick and mortar, but still significantly less than online banks. And so that's a gap I'm not really willing to tolerate. But right now I did open an account at Alliant. This is what my interface looks like, and I really like it. I think that it's sweet and simple. We've got checking, we got savings. I think that this might be where I put my medium to long-term sinking funds. So things for like travel, for moving, for, I'm spacing out on the rest of my savings goals, but my short-term, medium to long-term savings goals are going to be here. I'm still going to keep my emergency fund for now at CIT Bank, and we'll just see how that goes. I'm going to keep an eye on the administration and see what they do, but I don't think that you need to have 100% of your money at one bank. In fact, I go out of my way to make sure that my money is not at one bank, and that's not just because I'm like worried about the risk. I mean, that's low-key a factor now. It was never a factor before. But the reason why I split up my money is because I don't want eyes on it at all time. I don't want to see all the money I have at the time, because remember, I'm a recovering super spender. So if I can see immediately how much money I have, what my net worth is, I'm going to feel really good about myself. I'm going to think, wow, I am doing incredible financially, when really all the money I've saved is for a specific purpose, and I don't want to see it all in one place. Something I found with credit unions so far in looking them up on the internet and running into issues is that when you go to the website themselves, they heavily lean into the fact that they are like not for profit. If you're a member, then you're a part owner. They value customer service the most. Like, they will be there for you in the end of time. But it is kind of it's kind of hard to find their rates for their savings accounts. Like, they don't make it easy to look that up. Like when you go to sign up for an account, they don't tell you unless you go out of your way to see what it is and then see what the requirements are for that thing. So if you're at a credit union, like, I'm curious, what is your APY and what is the criteria to have that APY? Do you have to have a minimum balance? Do you have to have your direct deposit with them? Do you have to make a minimum number of transactions in your checking account for that week? Do you have to have a checking account in addition to your savings account? Like, what is it? Do you pay a monthly fee to have that account? Like, what is your APY for your savings account, and how do you get that APY? And is there a limit too? Some of them have, you can have up to $15,000 in the savings account, and on that $15,000 you will earn X APY. If you have more than that, then you get lower APY. So it's a different ball game with the credit unions. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. Remember to subscribe. The next video I plan on posting to my channel is going to be about investing, 401k, IRA, brokerage accounts.